All right. So for my first pick, I am going with the New York Football Jets. And I was thinking about going with the Giants this week, but I'm not after further investigation. But I do like the Jets. And look, this is a classic Tomlin fade spot, but that's not the reason that I'm betting it. Because, the classic Tomlin fade spot is when he's a favorite. And by the way, just to go back to the Browns have treated me well. I'm going to be in Cleveland. I am 8-0 in Browns games in the last 2 months. So don't let me down if I end up playing Cleveland, but I'm waiting for 10.5. And by the way, for this contest, if I need to, I can run down there and make a tackle if need to. Yeah, back to the Jets. Like the classic Tomlin fade spot, which has been so successful. I mean, he's, when he goes on the road and plays a team that's under 500 and he's a favorite. I mean, you're talking 35, 36%. And on the flip side, when he's a home dog against a team that's over 500, he's like 65%. It's like just a complete inverse relationship. And it's held true all this season as well. But what that is predicated on is Tomlin being, more of a motivator and a rah-rah coach and us against the world. And, I say this all the time with him. He gets his team ready to run through a wall. That's not I think that he doesn't have to worry about this week because they're playing for a playoff spot. This isn't like week 6 going to the Cardinals or going to the Raiders. So I don't think motivation actually is going to be an issue here. Maybe it is. I've seen Tomlin's teams come out flatter in bigger spots, but that's not the main cap here. The Jets run defense, which was exposed a little bit. They have an extra prep here too. They played on Thursday night. But they were missing Quinnen Williams. They were missing Jamal Adams, who's just so huge to their defense. And it looks like both will be back. Now, the fear is that the Jets aren't going to play Adams because they want to use him as a trade piece. Yeah,
he might be done, to be honest.
So they might shut him down. But he was limited in practice today. So was Williams. So I'm going on the fact that he's going to suit up. We'll see. What is the fantasy I always see fantasy people.
The Steelers are the number 1 defense. Like pretty much. That's your fantasy implications for this game.
No, that too. But I'm saying the fantasy people always say revenge game. I think so.
Oh, Le'Veon.
So I don't even know what the revenge game means. But there is Lev Bell this year at times looks like he's just careless out there. And I don't know what it is, but I do know that he won't be careless this week against the Steelers. Now you could argue the Steelers will be fired up to play against him as well. But mainly, I think that if Quinnen comes back, and the Jets' run defense I still think is solid, they can shut down the Steelers. And, it's going to be up to Duck Hodges on the road with his receivers, and I just don't trust him against the Jets. On the other side of the ball, you're going to need Lev Bell. You're going to need Crowder, who I think can have some success in the slot because the Jets' offensive line is going to get worked by the Steelers' defensive line. I think Darnold probably can take a lot from that Ravens game against the Blitz. He had some success. But basically this comes down to I make this a pick, and it's Duck Hodges on the road. All the pressure's on the Steelers. The Jets can come out here and play loose. This is one of your classic Week 16 home dogs that isn't going anywhere, that's playing a third-string quarterback and trying to ruin their season. They're playing spoiler. You can throw in the Lev Bell narrative. You can throw in the Tomlin narrative. But I just think this number is inflated. So give me the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't touch it from that side just because I actually looked at that was one of the first things I looked at was like the Tomlin fade spot. Thought about the Jets, but there is some kind of anti-Tomlin fade spots going on as well. So he's 42-28 against the spread in his career, coming off a loss, 4-1 this season. They are coming off that loss against Buffalo, and it turns out that his fade spots in terms of when he's a favorite in on the road, they're all above 3 points, so 3.5 or more. When you go down to a field goal or less, it's about 500, so it's more of like a 50-50 toss up. And also, I have a trend in Bet Labs that just says bet on Gase to keep losing. And essentially, Adam Gase in his career with the Jets and Dolphins is 11-18-1, just 38% against the spread, coming off a straight up loss and 3-5 this year. So it kind of cancels out for me. I ended up settling on the under in this game, which I'll talk about when we get to our totals. But yeah, it's it's gonna probably be an ugly game, to be honest.